to the icing part of the cake. My cake is cooking. It's looking good. Okay, so the icing for the chocolate cake, which you can't get this in the store. You got to make it yourself. So I'm going to share this recipe with you today. It was shared with me with love. I'm going to share it with you. All right, so what you have to have is 12 ounces of Cool Whip or whichever brand you have in your local grocer. 8 ounces of softened cream cheese. We have some confectionery sugar. 1 cup of that. Granulated sugar, half a cup. And chocolate morsels, or as my friend likes to use, a gigantic Hershey bar, like the big one, right? Not the little, but the big one. Chopping it all up. I use the little morsels because I like to add a little more chocolate to mine. And you are going to chop those up. Make them smaller, okay? So we'll spend a minute or so chopping these up. Now, be very careful you don't chop your fingers. You know, this is like using a table saw. Keep your hands out of the way. You're just wanting to cut the product. Whether it's chocolate chips or it's wood, we don't want to cut our fingers. So I always put my hand on top of the knife as I come down on the product. Same with the table saw, or a skill saw, or a jigsaw, or even a drill. Get your hand out of the way. Just go to the wood. Alright, so we're getting these down in little bits. Now if you had the Hershey chocolate bar, I mean Hershey's is good too. I mean, whatever you can find. Sometimes it might be that you can't find the gigantic Hershey bar in your grocery store. So using semi-sweet or milk chocolate morsels, I found, works just as well. We just want them to be smaller so that when they go in the icing, they're not huge chunks. They're more like flakes. But you don't have to make them so small that they're non-existent in the icing. Okay. All right. I don't know why I haven't been asked to do this on TV. Like, good morning, news station, whatever, whatever. Today we're making a chocolate cake. Nah, I just share it with you. All right. My hand's getting tired. You could put it in a food processor, but I think it would make it too fine. We don't want it fine. It's actually better if you can taste the chocolatey goodness in the chunks. Now, 2 purposes for the chopped up chocolate. One is it's going to be in the icing. And then the other thing is, and this is the part where you can get as fancy as you want to. Once you put the icing on the cake, then you take the chocolate bits and you put it along the top. Now, some people will actually get chocolate bars and they'll curl the chocolate onto the top and they'll have all these fancy things on top. You can do that too, whatever you want to do. I'm not that good with chocolate. I can make better wood pieces than I can fancy chocolate stuff. So what we want to do is we want to mix the dry parts first, okay? So our dry parts are sugar. We have 1 cup powdered sugar. I have my measuring cup. So we're going to dip in and get us out 1 cup of powdered sugar. Ooh, pretty. And, you know, just a little word of advice, don't sneeze on the dry goods. They go whoosh, all over your face. I did that one time and then I had to start all over because who wants stuff on their, ooh. Okay, this is a 1/4 cup measuring thing. We need a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. This is a 1/4 I can't find. I think my 1/2 cup's in the raw oats oatmeal. So I need 2 of these because they're 1/4. Those of you who are struggling in measurements in school, okay, 1/4. You go, man, that's a lot of sugar. 2/4, right? 1/2 cup. Because I had like a slight, didn't get it. All right. So 1/2 cup granulated sugar. Okay. Now we're going to turn this on. Now, as before, start out slow. We don't want to whip it around and everything goes everywhere. All right. So as that's going, I can keep chopping up a little more of this. And I want to be sure that I have enough. Now, you say, well, how do I know how much enough chocolate? You'll know when you're looking at the mixture if it's enough. And you can kind of go by preference. But I found that about probably 1/2 to 3/4 where like you can see the chocolate bits in the icing. I personally like to be able to taste them in every bite. Now remember, we're doing icing here, not the cake mix. Cake mix, they're already in the oven. We got 13 minutes to make this bad boy happen. All right, so now we've got this mixed up. Now we're going to add our softened cream cheese to the mix. This is always fun, trying to get this to mix up. Now I might have to crank up my mixer a little bit more, get a little more power. Woo! Now we're cooking. Woo-hoo. Oh, there. Oh, it just shot it. If it's not softened enough, the mixer kind of just goes, throws it. So you want to kind of have it as softened as possible. The other thing you can do with this cream cheese, which I just love this about Philadelphia. Oh, see, there we go. It wasn't softened enough. Is you can open this just like this. It's beautiful. Which you can put the whole bar in there, but I only do that if I really got it softened up, so that way it doesn't come out as one big gigantic lump. Especially because I don't have a $400 mixer, and I don't want to burn my mixer up. So I just kind of go slow with the cream cheese, adding the cream cheese, so that it can take it. Alright. I guess the dog will get that one. Alright. Now, forgot my baking spatula. So I want to kind of stir this around, make sure that cream cheese is getting in there. Mix it in with that sugar. Okay, you can hear it. It's going, woo, okay. All right, wow, now we're cooking. Okay, so now I'm going to add the whipped cream or the Cool Whip, whichever brand you have. You need 12 ounces of Cool Whip. This is going to give it the fluff that this needs. Here we go. Now this is an 8-ounce jar. I wish they made them in 12, but they don't. Not that I've been able to find. It's either 8 or 16. So I'm going to need 1/2 of this other one. Excuse me while I open this up. And I'm just going to go right across the middle to cut this 8 ounces into 4, because that's all I need for this icing. Now listen, when you make this cake, this is a refrigerated cake. You got to put this in the refrigerator when you're done, because you've got Cool Whip, you've got cream cheese. This is a refrigerated cake when it's finished. You can't leave it out for days on the counter. This is not your Betty Crocker icing that you pulled off the shelf. This is refrigerated, gotta be in the refrigerator, okay? So now we have our whipped cream, and now we are down to the chocolatey bits. This is whipping around really nice. Now we add the chocolate. And we just throw it down there, and you will start to see it mix in there. It is so pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. And I already know I'm going to need to chop up some more, and that's okay, because I can turn this off, chop up some more, add it, see where I'm at, okay? And when it gets done, I'll be able to show you what it looks like mixed up. You want all those chocolate flakes, it's okay. Put them in there. Alright, as that's mixing around, I'm going to chop up some more. And it's getting nice. You can see the chocolate mixing in real nice. And like I said, you can put in as much or as little as you want. It's really your preference. I happen to love chocolate. I happen to think it's one of those healthy foods. And again, you don't want your hand in the way of the knife, okay? We don't need any extra in there. And you run into the hospital. And to chop this chocolate up, you really need a good knife, sharp knife, because the morsels, you know, morsels are hard. You don't want them, you don't want them melted. So we're going to add a little more chocolate in there. Oh, that's looking awesome. Up until I met my friend Rita, I didn't even know this cake existed. I didn't know that you could have chocolate cake like this. Woo! Yum. Now I'm just going to add a little bit more. Just because I look at it and I want to see more chocolatey goodness. Is you can chop up your chocolate before you start this process, and then it's already ready. You don't have to do it as you go. Because any remaining chocolate can be put on the top, or you can use it in something else. It's okay. Alright. So we're going to let that stir around. I gotta wash my hands. Let this get good and mixing, and then I'll show you what it looks like. And then when you put this on the chocolate cake, once those cakes have to be cold. They have to be cool, right? Cool, not warm. When you go to put this icing on, your cakes must be cool down, or this will start to melt and slide, and you don't want that, okay? So your cakes have to be cool, because this icing, based on what it's made out of, cream, cheese, sugar, okay, Cool Whip, it's again a refrigerated cake, and if the cake is not cool, it will start to run, so you don't want that to happen. Alright, I think we're good. Oh, and licking the beaters on this. Oh yeah. They used to say, don't lick the beaters with the raw egg. Well, I've been doing that since I was a kid, and I've been all right so far. But, well, who knows? I might have some kind of side reaction to raw egg. I don't know. But there's no raw egg in this. It's cream cheese, Cool Whip, sugar, chocolatey goodness. You don't want to eat this right before you go to bed, I can tell you that. Because it's just yummy. But, all right. So we've got that, and I will show you what this looks like. There you go. Yum, yum, yum. Listen, if you got icing left over, a spoon tastes really good on this. Oh, I am so excited for everybody to be able to eat this cake. But if you have icing left over, you stick it in a cup, put it in the refrigerator, and then every day just spoon out a little bit goodness. That's our chocolate cake icing. You ice it just like a regular cake. We did 2 layers. You put it on there, put it in the refrigerator, let it get good and cold, and then enjoy it. It is the bomb. That's our chocolate cake icing. Chocolate candy cake is what they call it. I'll talk to you later. I gotta go clean up. I look like I've been having fun. Well, I won't. I'll wait. Bye.